Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. This is Brian from ScreenFiles.com with my 2 cents. As I mentioned in my last video, Sony seems determined to undermine the Spider-Man property. And keep in mind how historic an undertaking it is for the coming together of Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios. Yet they seem to want this to fail on some level anyway, and it's kind of strange. In my last video, I addressed the issue of Venom existing outside the Spider-Verse as a pretty dumb one. Spider-Verse being the entire universe that is Spider-Man, all his villains, himself, and so on. That's just odd, and I spent a bit of time telling you why that's really an odd decision. Most recently, I read an interview with Amy Pascal, who was the former head of Sony Pictures, who is now producing for Sony, and one of the movies she's producing is Spider-Man Homecoming. And she discusses how the deal with Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios is a very temporary thing, which is odd. Why are you saying that? Even if it's true, why are you saying it? As I mentioned earlier, there are 2 problems with what Amy Pascal has done in this interview. First off, as I said earlier, it's like she's undermining this movie. A movie, by the way, which hasn't even been released yet. It boggles the mind. It literally confuses the hell out of me why she said that. And first off, the problem with what Amy Pascal said, namely that Spider-Man is, the problem with what Amy Pascal said, namely the deal between Marvel Studios and the problem with what Amy Pascal said, namely that the deal between Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures is temporary, are twofold, as far as I can see. First off, the movie isn't even finished shooting yet. They're in the reshoots right now, so it certainly hasn't been released, and it's like she's undermining it. And it's worth keeping in mind that the buzz about Spider-Man was built because he's supposed to appear in the MCU. That's what's drawing people. Spider-Man, sure, a lot of people like Spider-Man, but it's Spider-Man in the MCU that is causing the buzz. And if you take that away, would he be as popular as he currently seems to be? I don't know. And when I say popular, I mean that. Keep in mind that the Spider-Man trailer for Homecoming had more views than the trailer for Justice League. Justice League is a huge product for DC. Yet, Spider-Man Homecoming, many more views, which tells you a lot of people want to see it they want to see that character within the MCU, not on its own. Another point is that I expect Spider-Man Homecoming to do well. I mean billion-dollar well, at the very least, at the box office, which makes the partnership between Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios an extremely lucrative one for everyone concerned. How could Amy Pascal, assuming that she doesn't want this to work, justify that? I'm not sure she can. It literally makes no sense to me how, if it's as successful as I think it is, she could even justify saying something like that. And again, she said it before the film was released, but still, the trajectory for this movie is, the sky's the limit. Why, in even the smallest way, undermine that?